Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Extinct Bricks Originals. And for this very special episode, we will be featuring the LEGO custom Jurassic World RAJASAURUS. But before we head on with this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And to be able to support our channel, please do not skip on all the ads on all our videos. The Guess PC contest winners will be announced later on in this video, but for now, let us proceed with the making of the Rajasaurus. So here is the Rajasaurus with its skull, and also, certain adjustments into its kit bash portion. So we had the neck added to it, and of course those little arms. Several more details were also added, such as that burlap on the under side of its neck, and also some spikes on the top of its entire neck also. So we have here a Rajasaurus already primered and ready to be painted. For our primer, we actually used primer number 68 in gray by Bosny. Usually it takes about 2 hours for it to be fully dried before it's actually being painted. Okay, so before we actually start on our Rajasaurus, here is our reference. This is actually the Rajasaurus from Jurassic World Alive, and you can see here there's a lot of patterns, from stripes to certain lines on its neck, and some variations in colors as well, from orange to brown to black and white. So we'll be needing some acrylics, some brushes, and of course water. Let's start painting, shall we? So here we'll be using a mixture of white, some yellow, ochre, and a little bit of black, all mixed into this particular grayish yellow tone. This will be painted on areas of the neck, the half of the body, the tail, and also the legs and the arms. Once it's actually painted, we now proceed with a mixture of red, yellows, some white, and also some browns. It will give out this orangey color and will be painted on top of the primer paint. So the colors would be applied on the head, the neck, the body, the arms, some parts of the legs, as well as that of the tail. Rajasaurus is a genus of carnivorous abelosaurid theropod dinosaurs from the late Cretaceous of India, containing one species, Rajasaurus narmedensis. The dinosaur likely measured 6.6 meters and had a single horn on the forehead, which was probably used for display and headbutting. Rajasaurus had a low horn on its forehead that is primarily made of nasal bone more than frontal, unlike the horn of Majungasaurus. Okay, so moving on with the painting, you can see here this is just burnt sienna painted on areas of the legs of this particular dinosaur. Now later on, we will actually be mixing some of this color with the orangey tones, and will be applied on areas of its transition between the browns and the orange. And in that regard, it will actually create that particular gradient of the dinosaur. In the photo reference, the legs or the feet of the Rajasaurus is actually much darker than that of the legs. So what we're going to do is we actually added some black to it and then painted them on entirely on the legs or on the feet of the Rajasaurus. Just a little bit of info for you guys regarding the Rajasaurus. The Gujarat state has declared a fossil site in Balinisanor, a dinosaur park, sometimes called the Jurassic Park of India, in reference to the 1993 film, in response to the massive rush of tourism, with the crowning attraction being the Rajasaurus. And now for some details. So the details would actually include several stripes and also scale details on the entire dinosaurs. So we have here a mixture of white and some yellows, and will be applied as several strips on the neck, the body, the tail, and even the underbelly. If you look closely into our reference, there's also 3 dots or 3 discolorations of white on the lower jaw also. So we also painted that on this particular dinosaur's head. Later on, we will also be painting those small osteoderms on top of its nose, the same color as this is. And here we have a Rajasaurus with the details on the painting. So all we have to do now would be add several more details to it, such as, I guess, colorations of the scales on the feet, also painting the teeth of the Rajasaurus, several stripes on the head. You can see here I have painted a darker stripe on those that is closer to the eyes, and a lighter, 2 lighter stripes on the ends of the nose. Also, we will be painting in later the colors of the teeth, the insides of the mouth, and of course the toenails, which we will be painting in jet black. At first, I was actually thinking it was too simple in terms of, you know, the current look and how I've been doing painting on most of my current costumes. But eventually, it was actually ending up to be really interesting and a really cool design. And to add much interest into the design of this Rajasaurus, here is just some brightly colored paints, a mixture of yellow and bright orange, and we'll be painting them on strategic areas that I actually seen in the reference photo. So that would be some areas of the head, the neck, and also the back of this particular Rajasaurus. I'm actually using this metal fine tip brush to create those you know, very thin lines or stripes. And just some additional data on a classification of Rajasaurus. In 2014, the subfamily of Majungasaurinae was erected by paleontologist Thierry Tortosa to separate the newly discovered European Archovinator, Majungasaurus, Indosaurus, Rahiolisaurus, and Rajasaurus from the South American Abelosaurids based on physical characteristics. And we're on the last stretch of the painting process of the Rajasaurus. So we're painting the teeth here, and then definitely we'll be painting the eyes as well. So we're just using white color here. And once that's dried, we just added some pupils to the eyes, and that's it. And I hope you learned something from this particular the making video of the Rajasaurus. And now it's time for us to announce the Guess SPC contest winners, and we have actually 10 lucky picks, and here they are: Draco, Renzo, Kaiju Studios, Miguel, Bricks Motion, Omega Game Rex, Jurassic Guy, Salas, Shapeshifter, and Victor Gabriel. Congratulations, everyone! And now for our top 10 winners.
Top 10.
Red Maju,
Top 9.
Nation,
Top 8.
Crossfudge Nego,
Top 7.
Maxim Taskayev,
Top 6.
Timo Majo,
Top
Santang
5.
Wing, Mr. T-Rex, Barkersaurus,
Top 2.
Ron Con, and Kototai. Congratulations everyone, and I'll see you on the next Guts's PC contest. For those of you who would like to join, here's how. Just click on the Extinct Bricks icon and then it will lead you to the Extinct Bricks homepage. And in the homepage, just click on the community link and it will lead you to all my posts. Alright, so let's move on with the subrecs. Let's count up the number of parts to this Rajasaurus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 parts of the Rajasaurus. Let's start connecting them all. Let's pick up the head and let's connect it with the lower jaw. Juice. Let's connect this to the body. There you go. Let's pick up the arms. This is the right arm and then the left one. Oops, not there. Now the legs. Let's start with the left. And the right, and for the last piece, that would be the tail. And there you have it, our finished Rajasaurus. And now it's time for us to move on with a closer look of this particular dinosaur. So we have here our Rajasaurus for you guys, and as I've said earlier, it's actually based off from the Jurassic World Alive Rajasaurus. So the colors are very similar. You can see here some stripes on the head, of course, some detailing on the entire body with white small stripes to delineate the individual scales, some yellows, of course. It has this small horn on top of its head and smaller, osteoderms on the nasal area. It also has these details on the lower jaw as well. It has these arms that doesn't have any, elbows to it. The painting on the tail is likewise, you can see here that it has several brown stripes on the ends of its tail. It has a 2x3 base plate on top of its body, with several, scale details on the feet, the knees, and also the thighs of this Rajasaurus. Okay, so moving closely to the head, you can see here there are 3 dots on the lower jaw. And this is actually on a background of darker brown colors of stripes. It makes it more fierce, I guess. The teeth and the insides of the mouth are painted as well. Okay, so as per articulation, it can move up its head like so, and the neck can also look down as much. It can open its mouth, of course, and close it, and you can actually twist the neck as well, as if it's taking a look at its big butt. Alright, so what else? So it can actually move its arms, of course. And I don't know, guys, if you watch Naruto, he actually runs like this, where the arms are actually stretched towards the back and running like crazy. And for the tail, it of course can be twisted like so. So there's a lot of articulation that you can actually do for the Rajasaurus. And I guess that's it for the closer look of our Rajasaurus. Now let's move on to the last portion of this video, the size comparisons. And of course, I'm bringing back here Mr. GCL. And in comparison to the Rajasaurus, you can see that definitely the Rajasaurus is much larger than that of the human person or the minifigure. And comparing it to scale to this one, I think it's just about the right size. Okay, so let's move on with some of the next comparisons with, of course, some of the customs that I've also made already. So let's just bring it back here. And we have here our first comparison, the Teratophoneuss. This Teratophoneuss is based off from the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom movie. It's actually dead there, but I had to place in some more muscle to it so that it looks more alive. It's much smaller than the Rajasaurus, of course. But let's move on to the next comparison. This is the Jurassic World Mattel Majungasaurus. So Majungasaurus is actually within the same family, Majungasaurinae, as that of the Rajasaurus. Among the differences between these two costumes would definitely be that of the head and the arms and the neck also. Okay, so you can see here the arms is the Majungasaurus has this elbow to it, so probably I'll be changing that very soon, but we'll see. Okay, so the head, of course, is very different. Majungasaurus has a shorter head to it than compared to that of the Rajasaurus, as you can see here. Also, the horn of the Majungasaurus actually is much larger than that of the Rajasaurus. Okay, so that's it for the comparison between the Majungasaurus and the Rajasaurus. Let's move on with another, at least a subfamily to it. This is the CARNOTAURUS. So the CARNOTAURUS is actually based off from the movie Dinosaur of Disney. So you can see here, it's actually very chunky. I love it. And the colors are very reminiscent of that of the movie itself. So if you haven't seen that movie, I suggest you watch that. You're going to really like it. Okay, so comparing both, definitely I think they have the same length, I guess. But the CARNOTAURUS is definitely more chunky. Alright, so let's move on with another comparison. This is the TARBOSAURUS. This is actually one of my earlier works, so if you're actually interested on watching this particular I guess custom of mine, please check out the Extinct Bricks playlist. Okay, so let's move on with another comparison after this Albertosaurus. Now we have our TORVOSAURUS. Now the TORVOSAURUS here is a really colorful one. It has this tiger stripe like design to it with a brown head and also white underbelly. It looks really fearsome and has this I guess scar on its face. Now let's proceed with our species roll call. So we have here all of these carnivores here. So I do know that you guys would like to have several suggestions and requests. So you may want to place them down in the comments below. I do read them and actually want to see more of your suggestions. Also, the GCL here would like to remind everyone that all of these, what you see here, is actually present in our Extinct Bricks playlist. Please check it out, guys. But I will be placing also individual links to these ones, so it will be easier for you guys. Okay, so let's have the species roll call. Extinct Bricks TORVOSAURUS, Extinct Bricks TARBOSAURUS, Extinct Bricks Majungasaurus, Extinct Bricks CARNOTAURUS, Extinct Bricks Teratophoneuss, and of course the star of the show here, Extinct Bricks RAJASAURUS. And unfortunately, that ends our video on the Rajasaurus. I hope you guys liked it. And again, thank you again for watching. And of course, before we end this video, please also support our other channels, Ibisoy Universe and The Adventures of Moira and Usher. Please watch their videos and support their channels as well by subscribing. And as we always would say, let your inner dino brick roar!